Welcome to BS with Tommy and Wes.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of BS with Tommy and Wes. And unfortunately, for the second week in a row, I am here without my heterosexual life mate. Now, before you click off of this episode and before you leave me altogether, please just just give me a chance, Sarah. Let me tell you a little bit about what we're going to be talking about today, because today's not going to be a short length episode, as you can probably tell from the length. It's going to be more of a traditional episode. I'm just Han Solo in it today, okay? Wesley Crane was sick for a while. He got over one sickness for another one to kind of come and grab him by the balls. I'm jealous. What? Backtrack, erase, don't edit. You know what? Leave it in. So today we are going to be talking a little bit about this past Saturday at Wrestling for a Cause. I had a match with Riker. We're going to be talking a little bit about me, because I'm gonna talk about me. I'm gonna talk about number one. It's the only country song I know. But we're gonna be talking about that. I'm going to be telling you guys who will be participating in this Wrestling Survivor simulation. I'm gonna be announcing all 18 of these contestants, so be ready. Stay tuned. Stay for that. Okay, but let's all give a quick shout out to my co-host of this podcast, Wesley Crane. Send him all the love and the good vibes. I know he would always appreciate it. So go support him. All that fun stuff. But like I said, this is a solo episode, so I'm gonna be talking a little bit about me. I recently had a match at Wrestling for a Cause against Riker, and I want to give you guys a little bit more of an insider look on my perspective. Oh, I've got a burp. Oh, I did just have lunch, so I am a little bloated right now, but we're gonna crack it open, this here Welch's grape flavor ghost. Are you guys ready? I don't think you're ready. You better listen up. Listen real good. Oh, man. That's good stuff right there. Do you hear a sizzle? I know you do. Maybe you don't, actually, because I forget the way this podcast is edited. Sometimes it edits out background noise, so you might not have heard that. So that just made me look a little stupid, but that's okay. But like I said, this last Saturday, I wrestled Riker one-on-one. This is the third one-on-one match we have had, and I'm so happy that I got to have these series of matches with him recently, because it's been a while since we got to mix it up in the ring. And Riker is somebody that, that sets the bar for me. Like, when I first got into this business, Riker was like the man, you know what I'm saying? Like he was at the top, and I remember like being maybe 1 year in, thinking I was hot shit, and then going into a training, session with him and kind of being embarrassed a little bit. And, so I like guys like him, Nasty, and, Wesley Crane, those guys definitely, humbled me when I needed to be humbled. So, it's been a full circle moment for me. And like I said, this is the third one-on-one match we've had. And before, this last couple months, we'd only wrestled like once one-on-one, and that was back in 2018. And, I was still fairly young then. But I've kind of grown a lot over these years. Obviously, you guys have kind of watched me grow, and I've, kind of become one of the top players. I know I post about it online a lot, and, it's half work, but it's also kind of, half real. Like when I talk about, being the best around, because I believe in myself, and I truly believe that I'm one of the top guys. But, Riker is too. And I say is because he's still that damn good. And that's one of the reasons why, thankfully, I was asked after my whole story with Wesley was kind of wrapped up. I was asked, what do I want to do at WFC? I was I was given kind of, a say, and I was very appreciative of that. And, I said, well, I want to work Riker. I want to work Riker. We've been talking about it for a while, and we haven't gotten to do it in a long time. So I really, really, really wanted to do something with Riker. And it just made sense because, as you guys know now, if you were at WFC this last Saturday, Riker is now the number one contender for the Hometown Heroes Championship. So I had asked, well, who's going to be going in that spot? And when I was told it was Riker, there wasn't, a second thought in my mind. Let me do something with Riker to kind of transition over, and I got to pitch this story, and I was basically just given what I wanted to do, and I'm super grateful for that. And what I wanted to do was to put over Riker, and I wanted him to look strong and great and awesome. And not that he needs my help to do that, because he is great and he's still great. Sometimes he gets down a little bit on himself, but sometimes he just needs to be reminded of who the fuck he is. And I am proud to say that I've had one of the best matches I've ever had with anybody this last Saturday when we went into the ring one-on-one. I'm really proud of what we did, and I am very grateful that, in this last run that we've been doing, Riker kind of let me drive the wheel a lot. I've talked about it a little bit before. I am very stingy now, and when I get in the ring, I'm very controlling. I am a control freak through and through. If you've ever wrestled me in the last year or two, you know this 100%. You know this. I am a control freak when it comes to my matches. And so it made it very, very easy with Riker letting me just steer the wheel on this. And not to say that he didn't add to it, or what, I can't think of the words right now. Yeah, Magoo. You know what I'm saying? No, he contributed it. That's the word I was looking for. Like, Riker definitely contributed to the match and the stories and everything. So big shout out to him as well. But I'm really, really, really proud of this match. I picked a 400-pound man up on my shoulders and delivered a Death Valley driver. It's the one thing I really, really, really wanted to do in this match. And we got to that spot, and I was a little worried. Because I still do have a sprained ankle. It's one of the things that's been, bugging me a lot. Me and Wesley have not sat down and recorded a podcast since I, got my first injury that I've had. I'm dealing with 2 different injuries right now. I've got a sprained ankle, my right ankle, which is mostly healed after about 3 weeks, thankfully, but I'm also still dealing with fluid in my knee right now. And I'll talk a little bit about that real quick. Literally 2 weeks ago today from when I'm recording this, I was out at the TPWA training, and all of a sudden I just felt like my sweatpants were rubbing against my knee super weird. And but it didn't hurt, so I was very confused. And I took my pants off, no diddy, and I was sitting there with a couple of the guys I trained with, like Titan Yin and Tyler Midas, a couple others, and looked down and my knee is like triple its normal size, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Titan was there, and he's dealt with it before, so he was able to give me some advice about it, and I was very grateful for that as well. I ended up holding out for a week and then going to the ER. And they were like, well, I mean, there's nothing broken, so there's nothing really we can do for you. You have to go get an MRI for that. So I'm, trying to avoid having to go in and, get poked and prodded any more than I absolutely have to. So I'm kind of just dealing with it on my own right now. But going into this match, I was a little worried because, the sprained ankles on my right leg, and then the fluid in the knees on my left leg. So I'm going in with 2 legs that are not 100%. And I was a little worried, putting 400 pounds, and realistically, it's probably like what, 385. Like Riker's losing. He's lost a little weight. He was over 400 pounds at one point, and now he's under. So congratulations to him. I just round up, because in pro wrestling we round up. Okay, get off my back. But I was a little worried, and then I asked him if I could do the spot. It's the one thing I really wanted to do. And he was totally cool with it, and he let me pick him up before the show, and it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. And I was like, wow, I'm not gonna have an issue with this. It was so funny because when I picked him up before the show on my shoulders, you just feel his legs just start kicking because he's not used to being picked up like that. So it was kind of funny. But then we got into the match, and we're cooking, and the crowd's super into what we got going. We're hitting all the beats, and the crowd is into it. And then we get to the spot. I get him up on my shoulders, and I think I'm gonna drop him. And I just kind of just freeze for a second, and then I do a slow kind of squat, and it just looks super badass. At least in my head it has. I haven't seen any footage of it back yet. But then we got him up, we hit him with the Death Valley driver, and then we were supposed to do a spot where he rolls out the ring and I hit a moonsault off the top rope. But the reaction that we got from that Death Valley driver, I kind of like whisper over to him, and I'm revealing some of the magic here. Obviously, this is a more of an open podcast, less of a kayfabe kind of thing. But I look over here and I'm like, we don't need anything else. Let's just go home. let's get to the finish now. Let's milk the shit out of this and get to the finish. And he's like, agreed. So we did it. And, you know, everybody was super happy with the matches. One of my favorite matches I've definitely had, not just in a long time, but probably ever. So I'll always be able to look back at this one and be super proud of that one. So go follow Riker. Check him out. Awesome, badass dude. He took a break from wrestling for a while. I know at one point he was worried about his health, but the man is back and he's better than he's ever been. Shout out to him. Go follow. I think I had something else I wanted to talk about today, but I don't remember what it was. So I'm going to stop blue balling you guys, and we're going to get to the big meaty subject. I mentioned on the 5-minute solo episode from last week that I wanted to simulate a full season of Survivor on this podcast. If you've ever watched the Dead Meat podcast from the Dead Meat YouTube channel, they do a horror Survivor like every 6 months. So they get together and they do a full podcast where they simulate an entire season of Survivor with horror movie characters. Now, I love those episodes. Those are my favorite episodes on that podcast, and it's one of my favorite podcasts. You should go check that out too. But I decided I wanted to do this with Oklahoma and Texas-based wrestlers, you know. And I had mentioned doing this a while ago, and I thought it was, I debated how I would do it, like if I would just do live stream on my YouTube channel or on Facebook or blah, 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 blah. And I had talked to a few people about being my co-host about it. This is before we even started doing this podcast. I talked to like Seth the Pimp to, maybe do it with me and a couple other people. But I spoke to Wesley and he thought it was a great idea. So when Wesley gets back on this podcast, we will simulate the first episode. We're not going to simulate an entire season. We want to keep you guys coming back. So me and Wesley, for about 5 to 10 minutes each week on this podcast, will simulate an episode of Wrestling Survivor. Now, here's the deal. I've got 18 participants, and I'm going to announce them. And I'm going to announce them right now. Okay, so we're going to go in, and we've got two tribes, because I want to make this more of a traditional Survivor. And sorry if you hear like a bunch of clicking and stuff. I am recording this on my phone and as well as referring to the notes on my phone about this. So we got two tribes. Giving away something here. I still don't have a name for the second tribe yet. I'm going to think of that right now on the spot. You guys will know. So on this first tribe, which name I am coming up with, on the spot right now, we have the Caballero tribe. Yes, Caballero. I just said that out loud. I didn't have any idea what I was going to do. Caballero, obviously, for the Caballero Cartel, a famous dominating group at WFC a little bit before my time, before I showed up there, like almost right before, actually. And on Caballero tribe, we have Demo Diamond, current MPX Prospect Champion. Alongside of him, we have Tyler Midas, which I am just now remembering. Doesn't go by Tyler Midas anymore, but I'm going to leave it in here because I want to keep the spirit of Midas alive. But he does now go by, and I will put it at least alongside. I'm not going to erase Tyler Midas because I love Tyler Midas. He now goes by R.I.O. Rio! Okay, so we got Demo Diamond, and we got Rio. Along them, we have Eddie Lebon, famous on this podcast. We also have Morgan Mercy, a dominating female performer down in the state of Texas. We have Defiant Derek James, the Teenage Technician. We have the Judge, Jacob Lindsay. We have the Showcase, Alex Royal. And we have Grimy Dalton Gray. And last but not least, the last member of the Caballero tribe, we have Mr. Nasty. And over on the other side of the BS Island, we have the Menage a Trois tribe. And on this tribe, we have, you could almost call this man the team captain of Menage a Trois, considering he was part of Menage a Trois down at MPX with two other people who are not on this tribe. We have Tatum Manning, and we also have that guy, Red Chambers. And we weren't done talking about him yet, but we have Riker. We also have Tommy Prince, the Broken Arrow bad boy Justin Lee, Malik Mayfield, Stormy Renee, Skylar Slice, and we have good old Fester Cluck, former core tag team champion. Those are the tribes. Real quick, we're going through them again just real quick. Caballero tribe, we have Demo Diamond, Rio, Eddie LeBon, Morgan Mercy, Derek James, Jacob Lindsay, Alex Royal, Dalton Gray, Mr. Nasty. And on Menage a Trois tribe, we have Tatum Manning, Red Chambers, Riker, Tommy Prince, Justin Lee, Malik Mayfield, Stormy Renee, Fester Cluck, and Skylar Slice. Those are the 2 tribes. On next week's episode, if Wesley is back here and he's feeling good, we are going to simulate that first episode. Who's going to be the first boot? What's going to be the immunity challenge? What's going to be the reward challenge? Who knows? I don't know. What alliances do you guys think are going to be formed? And here's how we're going to do this, right? So me and Wesley are going to simulate the episode. And then when we go to tribal council, we're not going to eliminate somebody quite yet. We're going to wait until the next episode. And in between weeks, I'm actually going to reach out to these people and I'm going to ask, who you voting for? So we're going to see how that goes. Make sure you guys tune in next week. I'm going to go inside because I'm cold as balls now. And I also really have to poop. Well, you guys didn't need to know that. Anyways, make sure you guys follow Wesley Crane on all social media platforms at I am Wesley Crane. Check out his website at IamWesleyCrane.com. Send him all the love. And you know what? Send him some M&Ms. I know he'll appreciate it. Just, send him some M&Ms and a Welch's Great Ghost, and you're going to be his new best friend, and, I'll be replaced. Follow me on all platforms at either Tommy Dean Pro or the Tommy Dean 32. You just search Tommy Dean, you'll probably find me. Check out my merch at thetommydean.bigcartel.com. The Tommy Dean shop, I should say. I don't even know my own shit. See, this is why I need Wesley here. I'm going to sink without this man. I need my heterosexual life mate back, guys. I need him. Check out BS with Tommy and Wes on all your streaming platforms. You can get BS merch as well as our Parabellum tag team merch all on the same website. Links in all the bios and descriptions and all that whatnot. And just, if you're feeling lonely on, we got Valentine's Day coming up, and if you're feeling lonely, well, just go in the bathroom, light a candle, look in the mirror, and just, jerk off. And if you look in the mirror, there's a partner there with you magically. Right? What am I saying right now? I don't know. I'm going to go. That's some bullshit.